Good morning, USA. This is Mr. Nick B, your host. Excuse me. This episode should air by this Friday, tomorrow morning. Unless you're a subscriber, you may get it by this evening or somewhere between this evening and midnight, around or early AM. Anyways, guys, let's begin here. Well, first off, I'm gonna throw this silver bullet out here for investments with the with the dollar collapsing and all that. We know the dollar's in bad shape. The fiat currency. Fiat. I think that's also the name of an automaker. Anyway, just being trying to be a little funny. This silver bullet, for those of you don't know, silver is one of those items that is, some are collector's items, some are for the value, or collect off spot price so you can resell. Various ones do better with collectors, various ones do better with the people who want to buy it for spot and maybe sell it later on. Anyway, I have one, and it looks like it's about 1/10, 1/8 of an ounce bar. I believe that's what they call that. And boy, I cannot remember. C. Beagle's going to have to help me with this one. Because I just cannot remember what the name of it is. But it's a beautiful piece. I suggest you guys get into silver and gold if you haven't already. And, also, Bitcoin is on the rise. I mean, it's gaining hugely in popularity, let's put it that way. I do have somebody helping me to gauge where it's going, how fast it's, how fast it's rising, and, its decline's also helping me with that. And I have a tube of constitutional dimes. You'll see them right there. Anyways, they look just like regular dimes, except they're silver. They're actual silver. There may be some differences. So let's do this great big thing. This is 1 kilo of silver, excuse me. I done almost said gold, but it's 1 kilo. Anyways, nice for building weights, yeah. Anyway, but it's also good for other things. Very good time to invest in things other than our paper currency, because it's and speaking of which, President Trump apparently has a plan. I got this through my email, maybe I can look it up today, and we'll see where we're going with that. I'm gonna do these two. This box of anyway, and I'm pretty sure these are silver eagles here. Anybody that does know anything about silver, I'm sure I'm sure they are silver eagles. They're beautiful. These are courtesy of a loved one somewhere in the United States. No, I'm not telling you. But anyway, they're lending these to me. And I have some other bars of silver. And it looks like 0.999 fine silver. And it looks like different, oh, come on. appmix.com, American Precious Metals. I think they're different, okay, so this is 10 ounces Troy, 10 ounce Troy. Beautiful pieces, aren't they? I'd like to thank this person very much for lending They're silver to me. That's what happens when people trust you, I think. Wouldn't you say? As opposed to people that don't trust you. And let me see here. Then another one. And this one is 10 ounces Troy. And I think... Okay, so a couple. There's 10 ounces Troy and 2 of them. Absolutely beautiful pieces. Sorry, I'm getting into looking at it and I forgot to show you some of it. And then here's an elemental. And this is 10 ounces of Troy. There's some difference in them. This is just as beautiful, but not quite the shiny. Kind of a different type, I guess you could say. It's absolutely beautiful. And let's see, so let's gauge in on that. Okay, I hope you guys can see this one. They're just beautiful pieces. And there you go. Whoops, I think I've got that upside down. Let's try this. So there you go. And it looks like 10 troy ounces and 0.999 fine silver. And it is just beautiful. So, in respect to your investments, guys, man, please look at more than just the paper currency. Or the fiat currencies, it's been known. So, with that in mind, guys, I'm going to do some, I'll try to find an email tonight, or excuse me, for this episode of President Trump actually doing something with the dollar. I'll see if I can find that this episode. So anyway, I got a shell shocker for you. This is from courtesy of New York Post, page 6, Emily Smith. Shell-shocked Harvey Weinstein breaks silence after wife leaves him. And this is dated October 11th, 2017 at 4:18 p.m. by Emily Smith of, I believe she's of the New York Post. She might be working for page 6, and maybe it's a subsidiary or something of New York Post, not New York Times. And of course I can't find the video now.
As you know, Harvey Weinstein has gone from one of the most powerful men in all of Hollywood to
So
one
I'm
of
going
the
to show
most
you a short clip, guys.
men in all America in just 4 days.
And
last night, he called you.
Yes.
What did he have to say for himself?
He said his world has literally fallen apart. He says he can't believe what has happened. He sounded depressed. He went from that to sounding shell-shocked to sounding angry and defiant. You know, he admits he's done the wrong thing. He admits he's harmed people, and he admits he needs help. But he can't believe that he's lost his career in Hollywood and his wife, two of the things that he loves most in the world.
And he says, though, that all the encounters were consensual.
That's what he said. But also he admits that he has hurt people. So, you know, he hasn't really talked about each individual encounter, but he admits that he's acted in a bad way.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like it's not fully sinking in, but, you know, there's some huge names on that list. Angelina Jolie, Gwyneth Paltrow, we had them on the cover today at the Post.
Yeah.
Now, you know, he not only employed some of these people, but he's also friends with them, like Gwyneth Paltrow. What did he say about them coming out against him?
He wouldn't specifically talk about specific allegations and specific stars, but what he did say was that he was heartbroken by the lack of support he's got from Hollywood, because obviously he was the Hollywood kingmaker. You know, he was the one who could get these stars the Oscars. Right. And he's also heartbroken by the friends that he's lost, such as, you know, the political friends like Hillary and Obama, who he's raised millions of dollars for, who came out and spoke against him yesterday too. He just can't believe what's happened to him.
So he actually thought he bought the loyalty of these people by giving them donations for their political campaigns.
Absolutely. I mean, he and Anna Wintour did a ton of campaign events for Hillary, and prior to that, Obama. And then, of course, Malia Obama interned with him this summer. So he sees the Obamas as close personal friends, of course, until the statement came out.
Okay, my friends,
yesterday.
subscribers. I think that's enough
And
of
I'm
that.
sure that they felt like that was a real betrayal of Harvey Weinstein.
But that was a good video. I guess we could be pretty proud of New York Post for attempting to do this and do the news the correct way. So at any rate, well, anyway, guys, I wanted to find some other... Okay, let me find that email. Starting to get a little tired here. Sorry about that. Get a little coffee. Boy, been a long day. Kind of rainy and wet where I'm at. And kind of getting sleepy. Cheers, D-Rob, C. Beagle, Carrie Love, Edward Black, Beverly Cook. Oh, come on. I know I've got one other one. Two other ones, actually. Packed Up Bullsheets, and maybe three other ones. And Jim and Angie from Victorious Libertas. I appreciate that. Appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. And the thing about Jim and Angie over VL Victorious Libertas is, they've got a subscribership of about 50,000. They didn't really have to subscribe to my channel. But they not only left a comment, they subscribed, the two of them. I really appreciate that. I guess it shows I'm reaching somebody. Somebody important. And it's a really good channel to watch. They really try to do a good job at trying to do the news, reports the news correctly. Oh, I know where I was going. I was going to see if I could find it in my email about President Trump's, what he's going to plan on doing with the dollar here. I need you to know about this because I think it's important. Unread, I don't think it's in my unread. Give me just one moment. In fact, I'm going to pause it, guys, here just a moment. Okay, we're back. Good morning, USA. This is your host, Mr. Nick B. And this is from the an email I get from Money Metals Exchange. Just wanted to share this with you real quick. Dear readers, Donald Trump could soon reinvent the dollar with a radical reboot. This move, and this email was dated October 11th, 2017. So anyway, dear reader, Donald Trump could soon reinvent the dollar with a radical reboot. This move is long overdue, but it has nothing to do with all the new cryptocurrencies you've been reading about. Instead, I'm talking about a major upgrade to the paper dollar. One that could soon revolutionize money, as you know, transforming everything familiar to you about saving, spending, investing, retiring, and banking. And it could all happen within the next 5 months. Click here now for the urgent details. Regards, Joe Schreifer, publisher, Agora Financial. Now, there's probably going to be some long audio, and I think I'm going to try to play a little bit of the audio, but I don't want to use up memory and your time to play the whole thing, because a lot of these, if they're audio clips, are extremely long, and they claim to be educational, which some are, but they're extremely long, and some are boring. So we'll go for the urgent details here and see what's going on. Just get maybe a tidbit of what they're thinking. Okay, now this is a pro.dailyreckoningnews.com. By January 1st, 2018, Donald Trump could reboot the U.S. dollar. When the president signs this secret money deal, one investment, not gold, could soar by as much as 1,000%, creating huge windfalls for investors positioned correctly ahead of time. Not sure how much of this I believe. I just really don't know enough about some of these, like Money Metals Exchange and some of these things, these independent websites. I'm sure they're trying to do what's right, but you don't need so many advertisements and clickbait, so much clickbait to do what you're trying to do here. So if we get on with this, I'm going to play a little clip. What you're about to hear is the result of information I received during a private dinner, and this is the person talking, not me. I never received anything during a private dinner because I haven't been invited.
What you're about to hear is the result of information I received during a private dinner that took place 1 block away from the Trump Tower. The private venue was on West 58th Street, Manhattan, New York City, where 7 others and I met. It was there that I met a man who shared information with me that rocked my outlook for the U.S. dollar over the next 6 months. In short, my research indicates Donald Trump could be planning a radical reboot of the U.S. dollar. You'll see why in just a second. Not only do I believe this is coming, but I believe I know when it's going to happen, by New Year's Day. Now, we don't know it will happen by then for sure. It could happen a little bit earlier or a little bit later based on how it all unfolds, but I anticipate it could happen before this date. That's why I'm delivering this message to you. I've personally positioned more than $1 million of my own money ahead of this potential reboot, and I want to show you how and what you should do with your money. My name's Jim Rickards, by the way, and the reboot event I'm about to share with you is the culmination of the deep research I've done in my 3 New York Times best-selling books and my life's work advising the U.S. government. It was something Ronald Reagan supported as president but couldn't get accomplished because of political pressures. But based on a private dinner I just had with a man I'll call Mr. Davos, with connections to some of the world's most important elites, I'm convinced Donald Trump can and will get it done. The key is a secret money deal that Trump could sign in the coming months. If he does, I'm certain well-positioned investors could make as much as 11 times the money. It will mark a fundamental shift away from the awful Obama years. In fact, investors who stay stuck in Obama land are going to face big losses. More importantly, I believe the dollar reboot will happen by New Year's Day. That's less than 5 months from today. But as you'll see, this could happen much sooner than that, so you'll need to prepare now. Your life and the character of America is about to change forever. But this message isn't a breaking news bulletin. It's a time-sensitive opportunity you need to act on immediately to reap the benefits. You see, if Donald Trump signs this new money deal, the U.S. dollar will reboot, sending one investment, not gold, soaring as much as 1,000%, creating a huge windfall for Americans positioned correctly ahead of time. Seem unbelievable? What if I told you President Donald Trump used a similar but much less significant monetary deal in the 1980s to make a massive 320% windfall for himself? It's true. It was enough to take every $500,000 he invested and turn it into more than $2 million. He even called it, quote, easier than the construction business, close quote. But you don't need millions of dollars to profit this time around, or be a real estate mogul, or be president of the United States to take advantage of the windfalls that come after these monetary accords are made. You simply need to see the signs that a massive monetary shift is coming, and one is. Then position yourself accordingly. Trump's secret money deal would be a massive shift, a total dollar reboot, and a far bigger opportunity than what Donald Trump profited from decades ago. I've done the math given today's economic environment, and if you're positioned properly before this dollar reboot is made, you stand to make as much as 1,000% by the time it's in effect. The key isn't gold or a stock, bond, currency, or Bitcoin. Yet, if you combine the secret with a few other simple moves, then the way you work, live, raise your family, retire, and enjoy your free time will be radically changed for the better. I'm personally using over $1 million of my own wealth on these moves to position myself and my family for what's coming. You've likely never heard the steps I'm going to recommend to you. Usually only very low-key, very down-to-earth Americans who are secretly rich know about these moves, and I'll share it all with you. I'll show you what's going on behind the scenes in the Trump White House and what I recommend you do right now because of it. But I'd consider you crazy if you weren't asking yourself, who am I to know all of this? Why would Trump's team talk to me? And how could I possibly know this possible dollar reboot when none of the mainstream media outlets have reported on it? Let's back up and take those one by one, starting with who I am. I have all the normal credibility you'd expect from the deepest political or economic insiders in America. I'm the author of 3 New York Times best-selling books, Currency Wars, The Death of Money, and The Road to Ruin, warning about the economic threats America faces. I have a high profile on popular financial, television, print, and online media outlets. Turn on the TV and tune in to CNBC, Fox, Bloomberg, or Russia Today, and you'll likely see me on the channel. I'm also the authority on the importance of sound money and on fixing today's monetary system. That alone is enough for me to speak credibly about the coming dollar reboot and the one investment that could soar by at least 1,000% because of it. Yet that's where my similarities with my peers end, because my credibility reaches far, far deeper than anyone else you know. My work as a currency war advisor for the Pentagon, CIA, and national intelligence community brings me into direct contact with the top echelons of the U.S. power structure. They've given me a top secret clearance too. I've testified in front of Congress. I've been in the West Wing of the White House on official business multiple times. I helped in the 1980s negotiation to release U.S. hostages from Iran. I've sat deep in the Treasury Department, stared officials in the face, and warned them about crises like 2008 years before it happened.
Okay, my friends, you can go to Money Metals Exchange to get the rest of that.
Names or statements. I can tell you they're preparing for something big. In one of my most high-profile missions, I helped senior U.S. military strategists at America's Warfare Analysis Laboratory.
So anyways, kind of interesting stuff. So so next week we'll do some research. I guess I'll fill you in on some new details of if you're interested in the old Atari, of the new Atari box coming out sometime soon, probably in the next year, maybe next year and a half. So at any rate, with that, guys, I think we're going to call this an episode. And just please stay tuned. Stay in the comments if you guys have any suggestions, please. And if you know something I missed, details I missed, any details I missed or whatever, please let me know in the comments. I want this to be about you all. I'd like you also to help me defeat the all the fake news and the false narratives of the mainstream media. Too much is going on, and they're either just not reporting it or they're missing too much. You take your pick which one you want to follow there. But I'm sure it's probably a combination. They're missing. I mean they're really missing the boat because they're not reporting the truth anymore. You know, another good channel to listen to here on YouTube is Project Veritas. Extremely informative, and they've got some extremely good investigative journalists. They just released a video today, at probably about 8 hours ago from this time of this recording. Guys, I love y'all. Please, if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe, and as always, share, and leave your comments in the comment section. This is Mr. Nick B., your host for Good Morning USA, and a quick program note. Stay tuned in the coming month or so. I'm going to change this channel over. You may find it at a Good Morning USA link. Still on YouTube. Please do subscribe to that channel when you get more information, pending the release of that channel. Okay? Alright, so it'll be a new channel. And I'll probably change this over into some kind of entertainment or something of that nature. Or maybe I'll do two different independent channels from this and make this my personal account. Anyway, guys, I thank you for joining me. Mr. Nick B., your host for Good Morning USA. And please, as always, like, comment, and share this video. God bless you all. Have a great day. Peace out.